Hello world and welcome back to the final episode of Refined Storage, which means there's going to be a brand new vote on which mod you want me to cover next. Today's episode is going to be all about basically the miscellaneous things that you can do inside of Refined Storage. Starting off with the filter. The filter is made with a hopper, 4 enriched iron and 4 pieces of paper, and the filter is a very interesting way of manipulating your Refined Storage system. So inside of here we've got a basic system, we have a crafting grid, creative controller and a disk drive with some basic storage, and inside of it we have a whole load of random blocks. Some of it is vanilla and some of it is from the mod Mechanism. Now if we hold this filter and right click it to the sky, we'll get this filter here. Now the filters can be used with either items or it can actually be used with fluids. Everything for fluids and for items are the exact same, so just for demonstration purposes we're going to be using just ordinary items, sorry. Now you can use NBT datas and damaging of items and stuff, so if you only wanted to use pristine items you could click the NBT data on it, it would ignore all of the others, but yeah, that's completely up to you. You have a whitelist or blacklist feature, and then you can actually label this as well. So on its own, let's have a look inside of our system. We have a load of different things. So we have cobblestone as one of our things here. So let's hold shift, right click, and sorry, just regular right click, and inside of here we will say we want a filter. This filter is basically going to say, oh yeah, we only want to whitelist cobblestone inside of our system. So what happens is we go in here, we put our system in, and look at that, our system is now only showing cobblestone, and then to see everything you can remove it. Now what you can use is tabs. So if we right click in here and say we want to have an icon of cobblestone in here just as a little filter, when we place this in here we now have a tab up here in the corner which we can toggle between regular crafting or regular cobblestone and regular interfaces, as you can see here. As well as that, if you hold shift right click you clear everything, but obviously if we go back to this we can also write in, say, cobblestone here, and then that filter would be named up the top here as well for this tab. Other things you can do is, as I said, there's mechanism stuff in here. If I went into here and said mod filter, this is no longer actually going to filter between cobblestone and everything else. It's now filtering vanilla Minecraft and mechanism. So if I place this filter back in here and then I can toggle it, now we're seeing only vanilla items inside, and if I wanted to see everything else I would have to tab out of that to see the mechanism stuff. And that's how the mod filter works. Obviously, it's the exact same for water, as I said, and then there's also a blacklist. So with the mod filter, with this blacklist, I'm now only going to see mechanism items inside of here instead of vanilla. The next item we're going to show off is the relay. Relay is very simple: machine casing, piece of cable, and a redstone torch. And all this does is it allows you to basically turn on or off sections of your system when given a redstone signal. So at the moment, we have the exact same system set up here, but say I want to access it with this grid over here, we can turn it on or off using this other grid or this relay over here. It's just simply a power switch to certain sections. Next up, this is something I probably should have shown off before. This is the crafting manager. This is made with 2 crafters, 1 machine casing, 3 pieces of glass, enriched iron, and some advanced processors. And all this does is basically have a hub monitor to show where all of your different patterns are stored. So at the moment, we have the exact same system as we've been using so far, but this time we have a couple of different crafts that we could do: sticks, planks, some gates, and so on and so forth. Anything you can make with darkwood, and we have them spread between multiple different types of filters or different crafters, sorry. Inside the crafting manager you can now actually see all of your different things in all these different places. Now if you did have a crafter on a machine, that machine section would come up as well in its own named category. There's a couple of things you can do here. You can have it obviously work with or without redstone. You can actually change the search menu, so you can have it auto-selected, synchronized with JEI, or auto-selected sync with JEI 2 ways. So you can type actually down here and it will change inside, and then you have that as auto-selected as well. We're going to keep it on normal, and as well as that you can change the size of your screen as well. As well as that you can search for anything. So if you have it in here, say you want to look for everything that's dark, or you can look for a stick, or you can look for a stair, and so on and so forth. Very self-explanatory and a good way of actually knowing where all of your patterns are in one simple block instead of you having to traverse your entire base. This next block is sort of a way of doing wireless, except it's not really, because you do have to bring it with you. This is the portable grid. This is made using a regular grid, a fluid grid, a controller, and 6 quartz enriched iron. And all this does, we're going to be using the creative one here. When you make it, you do have to actually find a way of powering this, which we know we can't do that with Refined Storage itself. So I'm going to use the creative one here, and here we have our exact same storage block that we've been using the entire time. What I can do now though is I can take the storage disk with me out into the world, and with this creative portable grid or your regular portable grid, you can just simply right click in the air and throw it into your slot in the corner here, and you'll be able to access everything inside of here as you would with a regular system, which is pretty cool. So if you have, say, a backpack with a load of disks, this is another way of getting into each and every single disk. As well as that, you can shift right click this into the world and use it the exact same way in case you didn't want it in your hand. Talking about storage disks, the next item is the disk manipulator. It's made using a machine casing, 4 quartz enriched iron, 1 destruction core, construction core, and 2 upgrade or storage housings. Now the disk manipulator, I cannot say this word. The disk manipulator is a very simple way of, you know what, manipulating disks. So inside of here, we've got 2 different disks. One is the same disk we've been using this entire time, and the other one is a bit of a storage upgrade buffer. There's nothing inside of it. When they're both inside of here, you can see that everything is the exact same as it normally would be. Obviously, if I take this disk out, it is now empty. Everything is now inside of this one storage disk. So inside of here, there's a couple of things we can do. We can, one, have this work with redstone, same as normal. You could have things extract from the network or insert to the network. So if I place this inside of here now, these items are slowly, one by one, going to be placed out of my disk and into the next disk that's obviously inside my disk drive. Now this can have speed and stack upgrades in order to speed this up. The other way you could do this is obviously you could take out of your system. So if we extract, it's now going to slowly remove every item into the disk that's in here. Now when this is completed, similar with we are inserting, when the whole sort of craft is done, it's going to zip to the out section to show that this has been finished. So you can do up to 3 different disks at a time, which is pretty handy. There we go, that's just finished there. Of course, you can do certain filters on the side here. We can do this with either items or fluids, and then blacklist or whitelist. So if we say inside of this system, we know that we obviously have cobblestone. So how about we just say what we want to do is only take the cobblestone out of this system. So we'll whitelist cobblestone, we'll have it as insert into the network, place this inside, and now it's only going to be placing cobblestone from our disk into this system. So it's a good way of cleaning all your disks if you want to start separating things out later on in your playthrough. The last thing is exact mode. So this does NBD datas and sort of things, and it will only do the exact items that you specify inside your system, instead of trying to change things. Say if you had this not on exact mode, it might try and do all different types of broken stones instead of just cobblestone. The next 2 items are sort of to do with managing how much items you have in the system. The first one is being the Detector. The Detector is made using machine casing again, improved processor, 4 quartz enriched iron, 2 redstone repeaters, and a redstone torch. And this is a very simple block. We have here the exact same system again. I would think you're probably getting a theme now. And this is an ability of actually giving us a visual system as well as detecting a redstone system or redstone signal. So when we place this down on our RS storage system, we can just simply right click on here, and by default this will all be at 0 and this will be blank. What we have here is at the moment we are detecting if there is under 500 cobblestone in the system, which at the moment we do. It's 384. This means that we've got a visual light here and we're giving a strong signal here with redstone. If we could change this to be equal to the amount of 500, obviously it's not at the moment, or you could have it over the amount of 500. So this is very good for when you have auto farms or auto crafting and you want to have a specific amount be made but no more than that, so you could cut it off with a redstone signal. As well as that, you have exact mode, and this can also be used with fluids. A very similar item, but it doesn't really give you a sort of strong signal. It just gives you an outright amount of how much is in your system, and this is the storage monitor. This is made using machine casing, 3 more glass, destruction core, construction core, 2 basic processors, and a quartz enriched iron. And what this does is if we connect this to our basic system here, what we can do is take an item, for our sake it's going to be cobblestone, shift right click with your empty hand. You can't do it with a block, otherwise you end up just placing it. So shift right click with an empty hand, it will open this up and you can place a block inside with a filter. This can also be done with fluids, and you have the exact mode as well. And this will just simply show us how much of that item we have in the system, which in this case is 384. Now the last set of items are all upgrades, and they are to do with the Destructor, which is obviously the block that allows us to break things. These are basically 3 upgrades to do with enchanting. We have Fortune 1, 2 and 3. They are all made the exact same way, but just with their respective Fortune 1, Fortune 2 and Fortune 3 books. Everything else is the exact same, and then the last one is Silk Touch. Now I have got 4 different destructors here. The first one is using Silk Touch, so just as proof of concept, we currently have nothing in the system. Place this down, it's going to break the stone, and obviously it gives us stone. If I took the Silk Touch out and it broke it, it would then give us cobblestone, as you see here. As well as that, I've got diamonds here, so inside of this we have Fortune 1, we have Fortune 2, and we have Fortune 3, and obviously as I break these, there is always the chance of getting 1 extra, which we did this time. This one has the chance of obviously getting 2 extra, which we didn't this time, and this one has the chance of giving us 3 extra, which it didn't this time. Apparently these fortune blocks aren't that good. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen, that is the finale of Refined Storage. There is nothing left to show you. Obviously, I did mention that we have got other things in here, such as extra discs and extra storage, but all of those do is give us basically either bigger crafters, allowing us to give us more filters or more patterns, as well as bigger storage housings. That is about it for those extra mods. But that is obviously at the end of the series, which means there is going to be a poll now on the community tab about which mod you would like to actually have us show next. It's going to be in 1.19 as per our previous mod poll, so we'll see what goes up there. But check the community tab or the link down in the description to get your vote in on what you want me to cover next. But if this video did help you out in any shape or form, please do not forget to leave a like and subscribe. That would really help me out, and ring the bell button to stay notified when these videos go live. I really enjoyed this series. It was a lot of fun, a nice little smaller mod here. But until next time, guys, take care.